you know, when this economy was doing exactly what it's doing right now, when it was Barack Obama, I criticized it because the economy is held afloat on a gigantic bubble of Fed equity, of zero interest loans to Wall Street. They held after the 2008 economic collapse, the Fed stepped in and they inflated the economy. That bubble is still underneath this economy. It is still keeping us afloat. There have been no meaningful legislative accomplishments of Donald Trump on the economy at all. These manufacturing jobs that were coming along, they were coming along in the end of Obama's term. They didn't, emerge sui generis because, or de novo rather, from Trumpism because Donald Trump says, I don't like the swamp. There's been nothing truly accomplished. The regulatory fixes he's done have actually been so narrowly crafted because they're payoffs to the coal industry and the steel industry. And those things have been almost tuned to support individual corporations. A lot of the stuff he's talking about is, of course, as you know, completely false. When he comes out and says, we're opening 20 new steel plants in this country and 1 million people are going to be working in them, well, it's one that had planned to reopen under Obama, and it's employing 40 more people. It's not this bubble of fantasy of Trump's accomplishments is just that. It's a bubble, and it's great pitching and nothing there. It's all hat and no cattle.
You also target the tax bill from a conservative point of view.
Absolutely.
In the book. Tell us why that was not a conservative. I mean, it had a lot of things that people thought were long-sought conservative goals, but you say no.
They weren't long-sought conservative goals, actually. They were long-sought corporate goals. And as an actual economic conservative, I believe that if you're going to pass a tax cut, it should go beyond about 150 guys on Wall Street and about 65 billionaires in this country getting 85% of the benefit of the bill. I don't believe in crony capitalism. I don't believe in the government picking winners and losers. You know what we picked in this tax bill? We picked the hedge fund industry. They were the big winners. They won, and they won big. And the bill was built in with all these phony predicates, one of which was, the bill will instantly cause economic growth forever to be somewhere around 5%. Oh, really? Now, how's that working out? It's not. Right now, we're going to end up in the 2-point-something, 3-point-something range if things continue to go well. This has already blown $1 trillion hole in the budget. I'm sorry, I had this thing when I signed up for the GOP that fiscal probity was part of the whole game plan, that we weren't going to spend money like drunken sailors. So this bill is, even if you factor in, and we could argue this all day, supply-side effects of the bill and stimulative effects of the bill, you still can't make it work financially over time. And the bait that was thrown out there, this middle-class tax cut, it's de minimis. I'm sorry. If our country's economic core is hedge funds on Wall Street, it's a really different country than I think we're looking for to survive in the next century. These are guys right now who have been given a gigantic amount of Federal Reserve money to play with for a decade, and they've played nicely. They've made a ton of money. And now they've been giving a gigantic tax break underneath it. They've been given another ton of money. And guess what's going to happen when the drunken sailor party ends and they wake up like that morning in Tijuana where you wake up somewhere, don't know where you are, and your eyes are glued shut, and you're like, I'll never drink tequila again. We're going to have to bail them out again in a couple of years. You mark my words, he will bail them out again. And we're out of money. We're out of tricks. If the economy goes south tomorrow, you know what the Federal Reserve has in the till now? Nothing. The only game they have left is a gigantic inflationary money print. And that, again, as a conservative, I don't know. It didn't really work out during the Great Depression all that well. So I think we need to be very cautious about this tax bill or replicating its effects.
Okay. You devote a large part of your book to describing the people who have fallen victim to the curse of everything Trump touches dies. Let's talk about some of them. Let's start with Steve Bannon.
Well, imagine cancer with legs. Steve Bannon is one of the darkest, and I use this word advisedly. Steve Bannon is one of the darkest and most evil people in American politics. If we were a sensible country, Steve Bannon would be horsewhipped in the street because he is a racial arsonist. He is seeking to overturn the republic and replace it with an authoritarian nationalist populist state. He's walking treason. He's one of the most loathsome human beings I've ever encountered in any context whatsoever. And the fact that Steve Bannon targeted my kids to get at me, he should hope we never meet in a dark alley. Let's just put it that way.
You do take delicious satisfaction in working against Bannon in that infamous Roy Moore Senate campaign in Alabama. Tell our audiences about that.
So I've worked against 2 Democrats in my career. One was Donald Trump.
Against 2 Republicans.
Republicans. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God, it's like 400 Democrats. Sorry. 2 Republicans in my career. One was Donald Trump, and one was Roy Moore. And I would have done the Roy Moore race pro bono because I heard Steve Bannon had gone all in, put every